Alright, this is the beginning of a series of tutorials on box modeling a character. The character we're going to be using is, its name is called Morphe, and I first found Morphe in one of Proton Vaughn's Lightweight book years and years ago, and I thought he was a really cute character to model. Pretty simple to start with the process of box modeling. So I've already given you the templates for the reference images. First thing you have to do is go ahead and make a new project. So you're going to go to project window. I've already created mine named Morphe. So you're going to click on new, give it a name, click on the yellow folder, and find a place for it to store. I've stored mine on the desktop. Okay, and then hit set. Next thing to do is to go to File, Set Project, and make sure the project is set to the project folder that you just created. Alright. And I'm going to go to Save Scene As, and again check to make sure that the scene is indeed going into the project folder. I'm going to name it Morphe 1. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and load the templates in here to set up. I'm going to go to the 4 views, and we have a front template and a side template. So you're going to go to the front view, click on this icon right here to get to your image plane, and you are going to directly load an image there. And as you can see, because I've set up my project properly, it goes straight away to my source images, and the one that you want is the Morphe F TIFF, which is the front view. Okay, when that's done, you can open the attribute editor. We're going to make it slightly larger. It's a little too small. If you want it to be less white, you can kind of reduce the color gain. It's up to you, your choice. I'm going to go down here to the width and height, and I'm going to double it up. Alright, because this is in centimeters, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. It's only 5 centimeters large. It's not very big. I'm going to make it about 15 maybe. Alright. Okay, so remember this number because you have to do the same with the other template. And now we're going to move this template up so that it rests on the ground plane, like so. It's approximately I don't know why this mouse would not stick when I move things around, but okay. So it's approximately 7.5. Alright. Going to go back to the 4 views. This time we're going to look in the side view, and clicking on the image plane icon again, you are going to now load the side image, which is that one. Okay, with it loaded, we will go into again enlarge this image in the attribute editor. We're going to make it 15, and you are also going to move it up on the y-axis approximately 7.5. Alright, let's take a look and see if they're lined up. So this one here doesn't seem to line up with the other picture for some reason. So we're just going to go ahead and move this up slightly so they both line up. So it seems like this one needs to be about 7. Oh, it is 7.5. Alright, so you're all set. I'd like to take it a step further by moving these templates away from my center plane so they're not in my way. I'm also going to shift select both and put them in a layer. Double click the layer and name it templates. Alright, and you can click on R to make them references so they will not be getting your way as you're modeling. Another thing you can do is, if you don't like to see these templates in your perspective view but only see them in the front end or the orthogonal view, you can go ahead and go to the attribute editor, and with that image selected, you can come up here and choose looking through camera. That means you're only going to see it when you're in that particular camera. I'm going to do the same for that one. It's a reference, so I can't select it, so let me take it out of reference. And looking through camera. Okay, so we're all set. We'll go ahead and go to the front view. Press F to frame your selection so you can see it in the center. I'm going to start with a default cube, which is right there. All right. I'm going to go ahead and start with Morphe's neck area. Now this character is not symmetrically perfect, so you're going to have a little distortion here and there, but we're going to make it symmetrical. All right. So the very first thing you want to do is to turn this cube into a transparent object so you can actually see through. So you're going to use the X-ray version right there. And I'm going to model in half so I can use the instance tool to get my other half. So I do the work halfway. I'm going to right click, go to vertex, grab these two vertices, and I'm simply going to hold down the X key, middle mouse click, and drag this to here. Should we line them up? So they're snapped to the vertex right there. Okay? Alright. Then I'm going to grab these two. Probably going to make them a little shorter so they fit just about where the neck is. Then I'm going to take these two vertices and fit it right over there. Okay? So we're getting ready to use the extrude tool to get the rest of Morphe model. So we're going to go back to the perspective view, and you want to let's go ahead and center the pivot so it's a little easier to work with. I'm going to right click, go to face, and select the face at the bottom. Okay, so this bottom face is now selected. You are going to use extrude. I'm going to pull it out like so. Alright, I like to get all my extrusions done first before I move my vertices. Just remember that vertices on this end, which is the center, cannot be moved. So I find it's easier for me to get all the extrusion done. And if I need more, I can always use insert edge loop. So my first part is about right here because you need to have some vertex to get that shoulder part. I'm going to hit G to extrude again. Pull this down to about right here for the arm. G to extrude. From here to the top part of the chest. G to extrude. To about right here. G to extrude. Strange, it looks like it's a little crooked. Alright, we're going to go ahead and finish up first and then I'll fix it. Maybe about right here. G to extrude. One more in between here, one more here. I think the box was a little crooked when I first created it. Okay, let's go ahead and stop right there to see what the problem is. I'm going to right click and go to vertex. I'm going to grab all the vertices on this side. Press W. I'm going to hit the X key. I'm going to simply snap it to the grid. Yeah, because the box was not directly in the center, it's kind of a little tricky, so I'm just going to move this over with the arrow. Alright. Another way you can straighten them up is to go ahead and select them, use the scale tool, and I want to drag on this red axis so they're all scaled into a straight line. Alright, so now I know that they're centered here, and if you want to be sure, hold down X again and just move this over. Alright, while we're here, we can go ahead and move some of the vertices around. I'm going to grab this one and move it over here to form the top of the shoulder. That one will go to the This one will go over here. This vertex will go right there. Like I said, this is a pretty simple character to model. It's not too difficult. And once you get the hang of it, box modeling will be second nature. All right, it's one of my favorite ways to model. All right, so we have a little bit more of the torso to do, and I'm going to show you how to instance this over to get a duplicate copy on the other side before we work on the rest of Morphe. I'm also going to take this, I'm going to move it over. I'm going to let it sit right about here. So I want a nice straight line going out to the shoulder, just like that. I'm going to take these two and move it up just a bit. Take this one, move it up. Right? Something like that. Okay. So back in the perspective view, I'm going to go back to my face component, select the face here. Got a couple more extrusions to do. Wrong one. And then we're going to work on the side. So I'm going to zoom in and extrude. And drag this down over here, just about right there. Q to drop the tool, right click to go to my vertex. Take this point and move it over here. Okay. Now that the front is done, we can work on the side to get things lined up really nicely. So again, we're going to turn on X-ray. Should be on already, but go check. Go ahead and turn X-ray on so we can see through. Okay. It looks like the front of these vertices should be placed closer into the model. So I'm going to start moving these over. I'm going to really zoom in and take a look at what's going on here. So it looks like this vertex should be a little lower for the neck area. These two should be a little bit over, right over here. Oops. Okay, something is wrong here. Alright. When you're moving these vertices, you have to be careful to grab them like this, so you're moving all of them at once. It seems like I did not. It's the same thing here. So let me do this one first. So this vertex will go right over here. This will go right over there. Not sure why it's not grabbing both the vertices just now. And this will go right over. Okay, there we go again. These two are not being grabbed together, so let's see what the problem is. So here's a trick. I'm going to select those two vertices, again using my scale tool, and drag it up to make sure they are nice and straight. And this is the point when you really want to maybe turn on your display. It looks like there's an extra extrusion right here. So I'm going to go to Window, Display, Heads-Up Display, Poly Count. Grab these two polygons, and it looks like, you can see, it looks like there's two vertices, yes, and that's why it's acting crazy. Alright, somehow there was an extra extrusion that happened right here, so let me take a look at the model from this side and see what's going on. Okay, I'm going to grab these two. I'm using the scale tool. I'm going to scale them up so they're nice and straight. Doing the same with these. And I'm going to check and make sure that these are just, okay, that should be two because it's going from front to back. And that should be two. So it looks like it's okay. Alright, I'm going to go back to the side view. And grab these three and move them in. Right, okay, it's behaving better now. I'm going to take these vertex, push it in. One of these should come back up slightly. I'm still having a little issue over here, but we can fix it in just a moment. And I'm going to grab this vertex and push it out. Just push it out that way. As you can see, we don't have enough for the curvature, so we're going to have to go in and insert an edge loop. Push this out that way. Push this out. Right. Same thing here. Need another edge loop. And finally, right over here. Okay. And we're going to do the front side. So this needs to go out here. Also, when we smooth this mesh, it should be a little more rounder. Go ahead and push this up. Build that up. Alright. Okay, so it looks pretty good. Okay, so right click for object mode. You see that right now we have one single object on one side. I'm going to go ahead and center the pivot, so now the pivot is in the center. I'm also going to press the X key and actually, oops, and D and move this pivot, X and D, and move the pivot to the center of the grid. Let me check to be sure it's in the center. Alright, I'm going to press D. I'm going to move this up so it's around the center of the character. Alright, if I hit 3, you can see that it rounds it out, kind of sort of flatten it just slightly, but remember we only have one side. So 1 will take you back to the polygonal mode. I'm going to right click and delete all the faces that are on this side of the model, because we don't need them. We're going to have another side and you don't want to have duplicate polygons facing one another. I'm going to hit delete so they're blank. Alright. Select the object. I'm going to go ahead and delete history first. Clean it up. And then I'm going to go to Edit, Duplicate Special Options. First thing you want to do is reset the options. And instead of a copy, I want an instance. And it should go on, this is facing the x-axis, looking at your little widget here. So I need it to be duplicated on the minus x-axis, which is now going to be scale -1. Okay, and hit duplicate special. So there we have it. Alright, we have a character. It seems like it's still not centered, so I'm going to fix that a little bit. Alright, I'm going to undo the duplicate. See a little seam there. It bothers me. Alright, I'm going to select all these vertices. And I'm going to use a stretch tool and scale them so they're nice and straight. Holding X, I'm going to move them so they're now centered on the axis. Alright. I'm going to try to duplicate again. And since I just set the settings, let me check to make sure. Duplicate special. Right. So it's much better. Okay. There is an open seam right over here.